If you're over 60, please listen carefully. I'm not just speaking to you as a doctor, but as someone who's looked into the eyes of far too many older adults in the hospital who told me, "But I thought I was eating healthy." It breaks my heart because I know they meant well. They were doing what they'd done their whole lives eating fruit, thinking it was always the safe choice. But here's the truth no one talks about. After 60, your body changes. Your metabolism slows down, your arteries get stiffer, and your heart doesn't respond the same way it used to. That means some fruitius, even the ones you've loved for years, can quietly start doing harm. I'm not here to scare you, I'm here to keep you informed and protected. Because assuming all fruit is healthy at any age, that's the mistake that's costing so many good people, their energy, their heart health, and sometimes their independence. In this video, I'll show you which fruits may be putting silent pressure on your heart. And the first one is likely sitting right there in your fruit bowl. You deserve to know, and I'm going to walk you through it step by step. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Overripe bananas. The silent potassium bomb threatening your aging heart. You've probably always thought of bananas as a safe, healthy choice, and for many years they were. But after the age of 60, your body works differently, and the way you process even simple foods like fruit starts to change. What you may not realize is that soft, sweet, overripe banana you enjoy each morning could be placing serious strain on your heart. Bananas are high in potassium, which is essential for nerve function, muscle control, and steady heart rhythm. But here's the part: most seniors don't know your kidneys play a key role in filtering out that potassium. And as you age, your kidneys may not work as efficiently. That means potassium can quietly build up in your blood without you even realizing it, leading to a condition called hyperkalemia. Hyperkalemia is sneaky. It doesn't hit all at once. It starts with small signs you might easily dismiss: feeling more tired than usual, noticing your heartbeat is skipping or fluttering, a little more weakness in your legs. But what's really happening? That extra potassium is interfering with the electrical system that keeps your heart beating regularly. And if it continues unchecked, it can lead to slowed heart rate, irregular rhythms, or even cardiac arrest. Yes, something as simple as an overripe banana, especially the soft-spotted ones with a sugary taste, can trigger those issues in vulnerable seniors. And I've seen it happen in my own patients. Seniors who were active, independent, and trying to eat well unknowingly made their situation worse with a fruit they trusted. Now, I'm not saying you need to give up bananas entirely, but you do need to be more mindful. If you're taking blood pressure medications, diuretics, or have even mild kidney issues, your risk is much higher. In that case, one full banana might be too much. Instead, here's what I often recommend. Eat firmer, slightly green bananas instead of soft brown-spotted ones. They have less sugar and a gentler potassium load. Consider eating only half at a time. Pair it with fiber like oats or nut butter to slow the absorption and reduce blood sugar spikes. And most importantly, pay attention to how your body feels after you eat it. That tiredness or fluttering sensation might not be agate, might be your heart asking for help. Your body is changing. Your nutrition should too. The fruits that helped you when you were 40 might now need to be adjusted at 70. But if you think bananas are the only fruit you need to be cautious with, just wait until you hear about grapes. Sweet, convenient, and tucked in almost every American fridge, they're not as innocent as they look. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, drop a number 1 in the comments below to let me know you're here. Let's move on to fruit number 2. 2. Grapes. The sweet little fruit that's quietly damaging your heart. They're small, sweet, and oh so easy to snack on. Just a handful feels light, refreshing, like a smart choice. But if you're over 60, I want you to take a closer look. Because those grapes you're popping into your mouth, they may be quietly working against your heart. As a physician who works with older adults every day, I've seen the pattern more times than I can count. Seniors who think they're doing everything right, skipping desserts, avoiding soda, replacing it all with fruit, but still, their blood sugar rises, their triglycerides climb, Their arteries show signs of inflammation. And when we dig deeper, we often find the same culprit hiding in plain sight: grapes. Grapes are packed with fructose, a natural sugar that your body processes differently than glucose. The problem is, grapes don't have the fiber of fruits like apples, nor the antioxidant concentration of berries. So when you eat them specially in large amounts, the sugar hits your bloodstream fast. That spike doesn't just impact your energy. It puts pressure on your liver, which now in your 60s or 70s isn't breaking things down like it used to. That fructose gets turned into triglyceridous fat that circulates in your blood and slowly clogs your arteries. Even worse, grapes are easy to overeat. You don't measure them out. You eat by the handful, often straight from the bag. A few here, a few there before you know it. You've consumed a major sugar load without a single grain of added fiber or protein to balance it out. And that matters, because sugar surges force your heart to work harder, your blood pressure to fluctuate, and over time, they quietly contribute to everything you're trying to avoid: plaque buildup, arrhythmias, and heart strain. I've had patients come in shocked. I gave up sweets, doc. I only snack on fruit now. But fruit isn't always innocent. Not when your body's metabolism has changed, and not when that fruit floods your system with fast sugar. Now, does this mean you have to ban grapes completely? Number. But they should be treated like a treat, not a staple. A few grapes with some almonds or Greek yogurt? That's one thing. A full bowl at lunch or a snack every night? That's a recipe for heart trouble. And grapes aren't the only fruit that deserves a second look. The next one is practically a symbol of summer cool, hydrating, and bright red. But under the surface, it might be sending your blood pressure tumbling and your heart into chaos. Let's talk about watermelon. 3. Watermelon. The summer favorite that could be damaging your heart without you knowing it. It's a fruit that brings back memory summer cookouts, family reunions, grandkids running through the sprinklers. That cold, juicy slice of watermelon on a hot day feels like pure happiness. And for most of our lives, it was. But if you're over 60, especially if you take blood pressure medication or have heart concerns, it's time to take a closer look. Because that harmless watermelon might be putting more strain on your heart than you realize. Yes, watermelon is mostly water. It's what makes it so refreshing. But it also contains an amino acid called citrulline. Citrulline can cause your blood vessels to expand, a process called vasodilation. Now, that might sound like a good thing, especially if you have high blood pressure. But here's the catch. For older adults, particularly those on medications that already lower blood pressure, vasodilation can cause it to drop too far, too fast. And the result? Dizziness. Blurred vision, lightheadedness, in some cases even fainting. I've had patients tell me they felt off after a summer stroll. They blamed it on the heat or not drinking enough water. But when we looked closer, they'd had a large bowl of watermelon just before heading out. Their blood pressure didn't just dip, it crashed. Their heart was trying to compensate, but their system couldn't keep up. And that's not the only concern. Watermelon also has a high glycemic index. That means it causes your blood sugar to rise quickly and fall just as fast. This sugar spike and crash puts added pressure on your cardiovascular system. Your heart rate increases. Your blood vessels get hit with a wave of insulin. And if you're already dealing with heart rhythm issues or inflammation, this can make things worse. For seniors with stiffer arteries, weaker kidneys, or slower nervous system responses, these kinds of sudden changes can be risky. It's not just about calories or carbs, it's about stability. Your body craves balance now more than ever, and watermelon, though it looks and feels gentle, can throw that balance off if you're not careful. Now, does that mean you have to give it up forever? Not necessarily. But portion and timing matter. Skip the giant bowl, choose 1 or 2 small slices. Don't eat it on an empty stomach or right before a walk. And if you're on any medication that lowers blood pressure, talk to your doctor first. Because after 60, even the sweetest foods can have hidden risks. And if you think watermelon was the only surprise, just wait until you hear about the next fruit. It's tropical, it's creamy, and it's packed with more fat than most seniors realize. Let's talk about durian. 4. Durian, the exotic delight that could be slowly destroying your heart. To many people, durian is a rare, treata, rich, creamy fruit known as the king of fruits. Some love it for its bold flavor and texture, and it's often seen as a delicacy in certain cultures. But if you're over 60, especially if you're watching your heart health, I urge you to look again. Because behind the exotic appeal, durian can quietly become one of the most dangerous choices for your aging heart. Yes, it's fruit. But durian is not like most fruits. It's loaded with natural sugars, sure, but what makes it truly risky is its shockingly high content of saturated fat. In fact, gram for gram, durian contains nearly as much saturated fat as a slice of fatty meat. And while your body may have handled that kind of fat when you were younger, it's a very different story now. As we age, our arteries stiffen, blood circulation slows, and our ability to process fats weakens. When you eat something heavy in saturated fat like durian, it raises your LDL, or bad cholesterol. That cholesterol doesn't just float around harmlessly. It begins to collect along artery walls, forming plaque, narrowing your vessels, and setting the stage for heart attacks and strokes. It's a slow process, but a dangerous one. What makes this worse is that many seniors don't see it coming. They think, it's just fruit, it must be good for me. But inside the body, that creamy texture is doing something very different. It's raising internal inflammation, it's straining the heart, and it's putting pressure on a system that's already more fragile than it used to be. I've seen patients who came in with heart palpitations or chest tightness, people who never smoked, exercised regularly, and thought they were eating clean. But when we dug into their diets, durian was a repeat indulgence. Sweet, heavy, and eaten too often. It's not always the obvious culprits, it's the ones that sneak by under the label of healthy. And here's something else. Durian can also raise your core body temperature and speed up your heart rate, making you feel flushed, anxious, or short of breath. When combined with heart medications or blood pressure drugs, this effect can be even more intense and unpredictable. This isn't about cutting out everything you love, it's about awareness. A small bite of durian on occasion? Fine. But regular servings? That could be harming your heart more than you realize. And if you think the danger ends with tropical fruits, think again. The next one is as American as summer itself, bright, juicy, and likely sitting on your kitchen counter right now. Let's talk about mango. 5. Mango. The tropical temptation that could be quietly damaging your heart. It's golden, smooth, and tastes like summer in a bite. Mango is often seen as nature's candy sweet, tropical, and comforting. And for many older adults, it brings back fond memories of warm weather and happy times. But if you're over 60 and trying to take care of your heart, it's time to take a closer look. Because while mango might seem like a healthy treat, it could be quietly working against your cardiovascular health. You see, ripe mangoes are packed with natural sugar, specifically fructose. And while it's not the same as table sugar, it can be even more sneaky. Unlike glucose, which your muscles and brain can use for energy, fructose heads straight to your liver. There, it's often converted into triglyceridous fat particles that raise your risk of plaque buildup, narrowed arteries, and heart disease. In an aging body where circulation is already compromised, this added burden can quietly push your heart into dangerous territory. What's more, mango has a high glycemic index. That means it can spike your blood sugar rapidly, especially when eaten on its own or blended into smoothies. For seniors whose insulin response has slowed down with age, this can trigger blood sugar roller coasters that leave you feeling drained, dizzy, and inflamed. More importantly, those swings put pressure on your heart, forcing it to work harder just to maintain stability. I once worked with a 75-year-old woman named Clara who ate mango almost every day. She'd slice it after dinner or blend it into her morning shake. But despite walking daily and avoiding junk food, her blood pressure was rising, her triglycerides were high, and her energy was crashing by mid-afternoon. Once we looked deeper, mango was the hidden trigger. Reducing eye tan, balancing her meals with fiber and protein helped bring her numbers back under control. It's not about banning mango from your life. It's about portion, timing, and understanding how it affects your body. Now, not 30 years ago, eat smaller amounts. Never drink mango juice or snack on dried mango both or sugar bombs. And if you have diabetes, high cholesterol, or blood pressure concerns, always check in with your doctor before making fruit a daily habit. Because sometimes what feels healthy isn't helping. And mango, while delicious, can quietly push your heart toward danger-own sweet bite at a time. And if you thought sugar was the only danger in fruit, think again. The next one is small, easy to overeat, and hides a fiery effect that can send your heart racing. Let's talk about lychee and longan. 6. Lychee and longan tea? Heat tiny fruits that can set your heart on fire. They're small, sweet, and seem harmless at first glance. Lychee and longan, often served as elegant, refreshing desserts, look like the perfect healthy treat. But if you're over 60, especially managing heart issues, blood sugar, or blood pressure, these little fruits may be quietly putting your heart under strain. Here's what most seniors don't realize. Lychee and longan are packed with fast-acting natural sugars, mostly glucose. That means when you eat even a small handful, your blood sugar rises quickly and sharply. In a younger body, the pancreas can handle that surge, but in an aging system, your insulin response may be slower. The sugar lingers in your bloodstream, tightening your blood vessels, raising your blood pressure, and pushing your heart to work harder than it safely can. And the danger doesn't end there. In Eastern medicine, these fruits are considered heating, and that's more than just a cultural idea. Scientifically, lychee and longan stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, the one that prepares you for stress or danger. That's why some people feel flushed, jittery, or even anxious after eating them. For seniors, this stimulation can lead to elevated heart rate, restlessness, night sweats, and sleep disturbances, especially when paired with medications like beta blockers or diuretics. I've seen patients come in worried about heart palpitations or feeling unwell after eating clean. One gentleman in his late 60s had been swapping out cookies for bowls of longan, thinking he was doing something good. But his blood sugar was spiking, his sleep was disrupted, and his blood pressure crept higher every week. Once we adjusted his intake and focused on better balanced snacks, his symptoms improved dramatically. That's the part no one talks about. These fruits may be small, but their impact can be powerful, especially when eaten in large quantities or too frequently. Your aging heart, vessels, and hormones are more sensitive now. What once gave you a quick burst of energy may now leave you feeling overstimulated or fatigued. So, should you avoid lychee and longan entirely? Not necessarily, but be mindful. Eat them in small amounts and not on an empty stomach. Avoid them late at night, and if you're on medication, speak with your doctor about how they may interact. Because when it comes to aging, well, it's not just about what you eat, it's how and when. And next, we'll look at a common morning ritual. Many seniors swear by, thinking it's the healthiest way to start the day. But it could be sabotaging your heart from the inside out. Let's talk about fruit juice. 7. Fruit juice. The sweet liquid that's quietly destroying your heart. For many older adults, a glass of fruit juice first thing in the morning feels like a smart choice. Orange, apple, grapeite's familiar, it's refreshing, and it feels healthy. After all, it's fruit, right? It has vitamins. You've probably been drinking it for years without giving it a second thought. But if you're over 60, I need you to hear this clearly. Fruit juice, especially when consumed daily, could be quietly harming your heart more than you realize. Here's the problem. When fruit is turned into juice, all the natural fiber that helps slow sugar absorption gets removed. What's left behind is a concentrated form of sugaries, natural sugar, but sugar nonetheless, and without that fiber, your body absorbs it almost instantly. A single glass of orange juice can contain as much sugar as a can of soda. The difference? You think juice is healthy, so you drink it more often and with less caution. But for seniors, this rapid sugar hit is dangerous. As you age, your body becomes less efficient at managing glucose. Insulin resistance increases, and your heart becomes more vulnerable. Every glass of juice sends your blood sugar soaring, your insulin spiking, and your heart scrambling to compensate. Over time, this pattern increases your risk of high blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms, and arterial thickening. Even worse, the sugar surge from juice doesn't just affect your energy or blood sugar, it fuels inflammation throughout your body. And chronic inflammation is one of the leading contributors to plaque buildup in the arteries. It wears down the lining of your blood vessels and leaves your heart more exposed to damage. I've had patients who did everything right, or so they thought. They avoided fast food, took walks, managed stress, but their heart issues persisted. And in many cases, the silent culprit wasn't fried food or inactivity, it was that daily glass of juice. They were sipping sugar in disguise every morning. You don't need to give up fruit, but you do need to change how you consume it. Eat it whole. Let your body digest it naturally, with fiber to guide the process. Skip the bottle, skip the carton. Your heart deserves better than a sugar flood disguised as a health drink. And now that we've talked about the fruits and drinks that may be undermining your efforts, there's one more critical piece to address something many seniors overlook. Because sometimes, the greatest threat to your heart isn't what you're eating, it's what you're not doing. Let's talk about that next. Thank you for staying with me until now. That tells me something important: you care. You're not just trying to extend your years. You're looking to live them with more energy, more confidence, and more peace of mind. And that kind of intention is exactly what your heart needs from you at this stage of life. See, the real threat isn't just what you eat, it's what you overlook. Many older adults try their best. They skip fast food, take daily walks, avoid the chips and soda, but then they turn to a bowl of fruit or a tall glass of juice, thinking it's the healthier option. What they don't realize is that even those seemingly smart choices can be silently working against their heart. Why? Because aging changes how your body processes food. The same fruit that gave you energy at 30 could now spike your blood sugar, upset your blood pressure, or build plaque in your arteries. Your heart, after 6, 7, even 8 decades of loyal service, is more sensitive now. It can't handle the same loads it used to. And what it needs most from you today is thoughtfulness. The biggest danger isn't indulging in a piece of fruit here and there. It's ignoring the small signs, brushing off a flutter in your chest, thinking your afternoon fatigue is just part of getting old, believing that natural always means safe. But that's not wisdom, that's habit. And you've lived too long, learned too much, to keep making choices without asking deeper questions. It's not about fear, it's about paying attention. Aging isn't a decline, it's an opportunity to be more intentional, to choose foods that support your heart, your brain, and your body's unique needs right now. To act when your body whispers, instead of waiting until it screams. Let this moment be a shift, a reset. Start reading food labels. Think twice about the foods you've always assumed were harmless. Pay attention to how you feel after you eat. Swap fruit juice for water with lemon. Cut your fruit portions down to something your heart can handle. Eat with knowledge. Eat with care. Eat with the same loyalty your heart has given you, beating without pause, asking nothing in return. You're not too old to make a change. You're not too late to make a difference. Even one thoughtful step today can ease the burden on your heart and give you more days filled with energy, clarity, and purpose. Because you deserve to live fully, not just longer, but better. Now I'd love to hear from you. What stood out most to you today? Share one thing you're going to try or change. Let's help each other move forward with awareness and strength. If you found this helpful, leave a comment with the number 1. If not, feel free to type 0. Your feedback matters. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more heart-smart content just like this. And until next time, here's to living life on your terms, with wisdom, with intention, and with heart.